faux Friday around these parts, Paul Thurrott.
Right. You had actually mentioned this. Now I'm remembering because you said it again.
Hmm.
I literally just said to Brad, because we always celebrate when Teams actually is configured correctly because it
We do.
usually isn't. And I said, that's great. We went 3 for 5 this week. And then I realized it was Wednesday. So it just feels like Friday. It's been kind of a long week.
From
Anyway.
a podcast perspective, it is Friday. There won't be a podcast tomorrow or Friday. I'm traveling. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Anyways, it doesn't matter. All the news is wrapped up today anyways, because Microsoft and Activision are extending their deadline to October 18th, but I think it's actually going to be more like August 29th. There was Activision, which I didn't realize, reported their earnings today, and that's where this information was shared. They have two different breakup fees. If they close by August 29th, the breakup fee is like $3.5 billion, and if they don't close by whatever the 18th of October, it's like $4 billion. So to me, that says that their confidence is like this is going to close by August 29th when the CMA says you're good, and then they hand over the check and it's done.
Listen, I mean, this thing changes as much as how Microsoft updates Windows 11, but
wow.
But the two constants in my life are inconstants. But through the weekend and into early this week, it was very clear the CMA is going to move as quick as they can, and it seems like Microsoft has given them what they want, and they just have to iron out the details. So I wouldn't be surprised if it actually happens much more quickly than that. But they had to take the legal steps in the UK to allow that extension that they've already. The courts had to allow that for one thing. They don't just get to say it. And Microsoft and Activision had to agree to an extension too, right? Because of the July 18th thing that just passed. So those two things have happened, right? So,
yep.
I mean, I think it's, I don't like the counting your chickens before they're hatched or whatever type of thing. But I mean, knock on wood or whatever, I think it's in the can, so to speak.
Yep. Once they get through the CMA thing, which should happen on or by August 29th, then it's clear sailing. Microsoft, when they're like, you want more money for breakup? Yeah, fine. Like that's,
I know.
They don't care at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to fund this little transaction, Microsoft wants you to pay $30 a month for Copilot.
I heard from two sources, I've spoken about this, that the AI stuff will be far more expensive than people expect. And one of them literally gave me this price, which is $30 per user per month. This is on the commercial side. They cannot charge those prices to consumers, obviously. So we'll be interested to see what that looks like. But there you go. We've talked a lot about how expensive AI transactions are, if you will, versus a traditional search engine. And I've heard the figure 10x more expensive. So this freebie giveaway thing was not going to last forever.
And God help us all if they bring this to the desktop and there isn't a premium option and you just have to deal with the ads, because that's...
I don't see there not being one, right?
I hope so.
Or they raise the price of each of the consumer subscriptions, right? So $99 a year for family or whatever maybe becomes $129, something like that.
How do you feel about Family E5, Paul Thurrott?
Yeah, that's the jump the shark moment for Microsoft when they start applying the types of licensing we see on the commercial side. I'm not why I'm laughing. It's probably going to happen, but we'll see.
Yep. Anyways, $30 a month. Larger companies will probably pay less if they sign up for bulk users. I've kind of mixed on, like, it's not a product that every person at a company should have. However, if you have enough people using this stuff and it can replace hiring somebody, maybe that fee is a lot easier to swallow.
This is the kind of corollary to Microsoft's licensing is obtuse and hard to understand. And that's because if you have a giant organization, one of the things you do is break them down into logical groups of some kind, organizational units, whatever it is. And different people have different needs, right? And so when you think about just basic Microsoft Office licensing, some people need full Office, some people don't. You can extend it to this kind of thing. And so that's why, it's a big add-on. There are lots of big add-ons, by the way, regardless of whatever you're in. I mean, you can pay more for different things, Teams Premium, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I mean, maybe this means in a typical organization, most people won't have the AI capabilities, but those that have specific, I don't know what you call it, creation needs or whatever, maybe, whatever it is, will. So it's expensive, but at least you can, at least it's not for everybody, right? They didn't raise the price for everybody. So you as a business leader, a decision maker, whatever, can decide, who gets it.
We'll see.
Right?
We'll see. The market's reacted pretty positively to Microsoft.
It's
Obviously, I think
crazy. I know.
it's just
Is that what
them
you want to
announcing
say?
how they're going to bring this to market. I think is the
So,
whatever.
so I'm working on this big article about Activision Blizzard and how it's going to impact Microsoft, right? There's the obvious angles like financial, like compare the financials of the two company, put the financials of Activision into more personal computing. Some of it might go elsewhere, right? Because it's cost, whatever. But let's just okay. How does it impact things? It's interesting on that level, not too much
Hmm.
actually. It raises the revenues, obviously, that's obvious. It There was only one quarter in the past year where it raised the revenues of that business unit enough that it went from being number 3 to being number 2, and that was the holiday season, right? And it was by the thinnest of margins. So it's kind of interesting. Like we always talk about, like how important this transaction is for Microsoft. Well, for Xbox, we should say. But when you look at Microsoft overall, it's like I think that obviously you're working on potential, I guess. Um, but it's sort of like its financial impact to Microsoft is similar to the overall impact of the video game market, where it doesn't ship things too much, right? It makes Microsoft's positions better, or Xbox's, but and that's only one way to look at it. Obviously, you also look at the games and how it impacts Game Pass and how it impacts this and that and everything. But there's a lot to it. But the financial thing was actually kind of interesting to me. I mean, this is a huge transaction compared to Microsoft. Activision is kind of a small company.
Yeah.
Which is a stupid thing to say, but someone had asked, like, does this company, like, it's like you have a marriage where you share the name, and does this company become Microsoft dash Activision? It's like, no, this is not even close to deserving that label. It's very small comparatively. It's big in the video game industry, but compared to Microsoft, it's single digit percentage. I mean,
Yeah.
small.
Also, interesting little factoid was that when they reported their earnings today, Activision said they had 90 million monthly active users. Most are believed to be on mobile, but still 45 million across PC and console if it was half.
Yeah,
It's a
I have
lot.
that breakdown somewhere. I'm not going to be able to summon it right now, but there's a breakdown of like where their users are. And you're right, most of them, or the majority of them, are mobile. And then there's PC and console, obviously. But yeah, 90 million. We can compare that to certain things, right? How many
Hmm.
people subscribed to, or that we knew last time we knew Microsoft subscriptions, Microsoft Xbox Live Gold specifically, or whatever it was, whatever the last time they gave us a hard number, it was less than that, right? 50, 60, something like that.
Yeah.
I think million. I think so. And we got a Game Pass number 1 point, didn't we? 10 million something,
I thought it
maybe.
was more. I thought it was 30 for some reason, but
No, it's no. I don't. Well, maybe you're. I don't. Off the top of my head, it doesn't seem right, but I don't know.
how
Any.
many Game
Yeah,
Pass?
there you go. Do not you dare Bing this. We
I
only
did,
have.
and it says 25 million.
Oh, okay. All right. So, Microsoft, big company, Xbox, blah blah blah. Fewer monthly active users than this smaller company, Activision, right? If you add those things, if those numbers are both correct,
Hmm.
we're still talking. Well, pretty close to 90, I guess. Whatever. Anyway, it's interesting.
So we'll end on this little thing.
Hmm.
Interesting. So I just went to Bing, just the normal search thing, and just typed it. Actually, I typed it in the browser.
There was
And
nothing normal about going to
And
Bing.
so it did like the traditional search, but in the sidebar now, it's automatically putting that same thing into their little chatbot.
Uh,
So they're probably artificially increasing how many people are using it.
they're also artificially increasing their costs.